All right, what's next?
Next up, we've got Joseph Lee writing in to say, hey guys, love the show. I've been watching for 3 hours and I'm already hooked. My question is, now that DC and Warner Brothers are finally on track to making a movie universe that'll be able to compete with the Marvel movie universe, do you think we will see them trying new, not as well-known characters in their upcoming movies? For example, Green Arrow, Nightwing, Hawkman, like Hawkeye was in Thor, and Black Widow was in Iron Man 2. I think DC has got so many great B-list characters that would do well in a movie. What do you guys think? And keep up the great work.
It's a great question, the one that's brought up a lot of times, but I really don't think so. I think right now DC's in a position where they feel like they want to hit everything out of the park. I think they, especially after the debatable failure of Green Lantern.
I think they have to.
I absolutely think they have to.
Yeah.
And I think they're committed to having, they've been saying this for a long time, this is what we've been hearing, is that they're committed to having a 5-member Justice League to start with. And if that's the case, it ain't going to be any of the B-list characters. They're going to go with their heavy hitters. They're obviously going to go with Superman. They're obviously going to go with Batman. They're obviously going to go with Wonder Woman. They're going to fit her in there somewhere, whether she has a standalone film or not. They're probably going to go Flash. They're probably going to have Green Lantern. And if not any of them, then you're probably going to slip in an Aquaman, or you're probably slipping in Martian Manhunter. They're going to put these characters in. And if once they get beyond Justice League, if everything is firing on all cylinders, then maybe they'll start looking at these secondary characters. And you're right, some of these DC secondary characters are brilliant and could be fantastic. But because of their past failures, Warner Brothers, DC has to be very, very careful how they navigate the next couple of years. Jimmy, how do you see it?
I want Aquaman. It's a weird. I love Aquaman.
Oh my gosh.
He can talk to sharks. That's cool. I'm so looking forward to this. Hearing you say all those names, I'm kind of like, yeah, let's do this. But yeah, I think they have to go for the right notes, and they can't. They gotta be careful. They gotta be careful because they haven't had enough. You know, Marvel has been at this for a long time cinematically, so they got a couple more movies. I think they can do that maybe.
See, and once Marvel knocked Iron Man out of the park, and knocked Thor out of the park, and knocked Captain America out of the park, and had Justice League, once they had all that success, then they could say, okay, Edgar Wright, come on in here and do Batman. Now let's talk about doing Doctor Strange. Now let's talk about doing Black Panther. They have handled this so right, and now they're expanding at the right time. DC needs to follow that kind of.
Although what he's saying is, maybe smaller roles, and that's possible. That I think they might do that a little bit, but I think the focus is going to be on the big guys.
Yeah, I don't even think they're going to hint at other guys until they get their big ones established.
I don't think so.
My one question here is Green Arrow, though.
Well, see, that's a question that comes up a lot is what about Green Arrow? Because right now we've got this TV show.
Yeah,
that's doing really, really well.
Well,
and that character...
That might hurt it, though.
Doing that well.
Well, they got a second season.
They got a second season, but if you look at the overall statistics and the ratings... by the way, I don't watch many shows on TV. I watch Green Arrow, or Arrow, as it's called. I love Arrow. Actually, I got to go down and hang out and party with Stephen Amell a few weeks ago with Ann, and had a really good time at it. But here's the thing. I made this joke before, but it's true. Arrow right now is really successful on the CW network, but being a successful show on the CW network is like saying I'm the toughest guy in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
It does because the ratings, when you compare them to the bigger networks, Arrow's I think rated somewhere around 38th to 50th, somewhere like that. Yeah. So that's good for CW. And it'll get you a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th seasons, because look at one of my absolute favorite show on TV right now
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is Supernatural. Supernatural, my favorite show on TV right now. But it's it's going on to its 8th season. Yeah. But its ratings have always been, compared to the other networks, really quite low.
CW
but
doesn't
good for
get
CW.
That. They don't get those high ratings.
No, and they don't need them because the way they budget their shows and do them, they don't need them. The way they market their shows, they don't really need them. But can you? And here's been my big argument. If nobody is watching Arrow on TV for free, will they then dish out $10 to go watch him in a theater? I don't think so. I think if we do see a Green Arrow, and I've said this before, in a Justice League or somewhere in the DC movie universe, I don't think it'll be Stephen Amell. I think it'll be a movie version of him. Much like Smallville had their Smallville universe,
Tom Welling,
and the movies had Superman. And I think they'll probably do the same thing if they ever do something like this with Green Arrow. But it would be cool because, folks, watch Arrow. Just watch. It's free. It's on TV. Just watch it. It's so good.
But then I have to turn my TV on and watch.
That's all that exercise.
That's too much.
Lifting up that remote, it's heavy.